Today we'll be going over the Mythic Banner for July 2023. We had a hot couple of summer banners, finally got another Engage banner, and CL7 is next month. Hope you still got orbs left. With Book 7 bringing us to Vanaheimr, and this year's Tempest Trials side plot going back to Book 4, and Freya, it's not a huge surprise that Dream King Freyr is coming out of the vault. If you weren't aware, Freyr and Freya are both Banner, aka fellow goat gods, so it will be interesting if the Tempest Trials story actually has something to do with Book 7. I guess we'll see in like 5 months. Anyway, as a unit, Freyr has been in the game, but I believe he was weaponless. He did get a summer ult, and his mythic version follows a similar trend in terms of combat. Freyr is a blue beast cavalier and will be an animal mythic that boosts attack. He's definitely meant to be a targeted counter to a certain astro mythic, so if you play at the raids, you may see this guy around. For stats, according to the trailer, Freyr has 41 HP, 44 attack, 16 speed, 41 defense, and 35 resistance. Very similar stat spread to his summer ult and in trend with the slow do-so archetype. For old skills, we got Ignis and attack and defense clash 4. Good luck charging Ignis, but if you get there, it's gonna hurt. For Mythic Freyr's Dream Horn, it accelerates specials, and at start of combat, if Freyr has more than 25% health, he inflicts attack and defense debuffs on the foe, makes a free follow-up attack, and has 30% damage reduction for all attacks, including AoEs. For the debuffs, X is going to be equal to 50% of the highest total bonuses among Freyr or his allies within 3 spaces, plus 6. No cap here. Generally speaking, this is an extremely straightforward weapon for a slower tanky cavalier, lots of attack and defense debuffs, free follow-up, and percent DR. Accelerated specials is nice, but Freyr doesn't have any special charging gimmicks, so you're going to need other methods. Also keep in mind, Freyr is going to be getting the new Cavalry Beast Transformation bonus that was just introduced with Eitri. You can watch my breakdown of her banner for more details, but basically we got a clash condition for more attack and defense debuffs, and if the initiator moves 2 or more spaces, you get another 30% DR for 1 hit, and it works on both phases. Now, as an example for Freyr's debuffs, let's say he can give himself plus 6 defense and res field buffs. These can also be on his allies. 6 plus 6 equals 12 total buffs. 50% of that means minus 6 attack and defense, and you tack on another base minus 6 for minus 12 total. Now, if the initiator were to move 3 spaces, Freyr can get another minus 6 attack and defense, and he gets more damage reduction. Overall, minus 18 attack and defense, 49% DR for 1 hit, and 30% DR for all other attacks. We can go higher with more field buffs. Now, for Freyr's unique Dream Deliverer C skill, we have one new mechanic, and it is powerful. At start of player or enemy phase, if Freyr is within 2 spaces of an ally, neutralize any penalty that takes effect on unit or allies within 2 spaces at this time. Let's talk about this now, since it's the main draw to be summoning Freyr for. We've had skills that neutralize penalties at start of player phase or during with some other skills. Well, this is the first time a unit neutralizes penalties when the enemy phase starts as well. This is important because it immediately shuts down the enemy team's debuffing skills. The main issue with player phase penalty neutralization is you must act immediately. If you were to end turn, enemy phase starts and the enemies just reapply their debuffs. Dream Deliverer prevents this from happening. You know that neat new Grand Hero battle unit that debuffs and depends on those debuffs for damage? Well, too bad, they don't work. Now, assuming the interaction works as expected, Freyr appears to be a counter to Elimine's False Start. False Start is a penalty. Dream Deliverer neutralizes it the same time it gets applied, or more specifically, it should prevent it from applying in the first place. This means when your player phase starts, False Start is already gone, so insert Triangle Attack, Dual Strike, and whatever other busted effects you got. Freyr, being animal, pretty much signals he's targeting Astra Elimine. This ability is basically the main reason Freyr is valuable, and it's great to prevent any debuff. Now, for the other parts of Dream Deliverer, at start of turn, if Freyr is within 2 spaces of an ally, he gives himself and those allies plus 6 defense field buffs and resonant shields. Then, if Freyr is in combat within 3 spaces of an ally, he or get another plus 4 defense res and inflict guard on the foe. Now, besides protection from penalties, Freyr brings more tankiness from everyone. Last new skill for today is low attack and defense 4, inflict attack and defense minus X on foe, and neutralize foe's field buffs for attack and defense. X is equal to 4 plus the number of bonuses active on foe. At 4 bonus status effects, you inflict the max minus 8 attack and defense. This is the second tier 4 low beast skill, and personally, they're not that crazy to me. They do the same job of consistently denying field buffs, so if you want that, then great. The debuff portion is okay, but if the foe has, let's say, 4 bonus statuses, I'm not sure an extra -4 attack and defense is going to offset that. It's a fine skill, just not doing anything amazingly different from before. Overall, Mythic Freyr's main job is to stand there, look pretty, and completely block any kind of penalties from affecting his team. For what it's worth, it does have a 2-space range, so it may not cover everyone on the field. For additional support, he can get +6 defense and res and resonant shields, which is another +4 defense and res in combat, and fall up to now for 1 fight in the phase. For Freyr's own personal combat, assuming you can fully buff someone with +6 to all stats, that's 24 total, so -12 attack and defense with another base -6 on top. If he transforms, you get more attack and defense debuffs, and low attack and defense is at least another -4. Freyr would then get Slaying, Omnibreaker, 30% DR, another 30% for transforming, and he turns off enemy field buffs plus has guard. All the standard tank perks. For some issues, Freyr does not guarantee he transforms, which may be an issue as a defense unit who needs to be next to his team to protect them. If you want to run a Beast to Beast skill, you basically got Beast near Trace, or you can use Beast Follow-up, which is kind of redundant. In terms of damage, Freyr may hurt a good bit, but obviously susceptible to no follow-up and damage reduction, plus he isn't spamming specials. He definitely isn't a free kill, but he's also mythic, so no extra blessing stats. If you are looking to use Freyr, an interesting partner could be Garrick with his new refine, -1 cooldown, +6 attack and speed field buffs gives Freyr and team full +6 buffs. This could charge a Glimmer Immovable for Freyr as well. Either way, Mythic Freyr isn't doing anything crazy combat-wise besides being pretty tanky, but denying penalties on both phases is real good. Now for the rest of this video, we'll go over the 11 other heroes on the banner briefly. In red, we got Legendary Sigurd and Lilina, plus male Alear's first actual banner. Blue will have Freyr, Nerthuz, and Rearmed Ingrid. Green has Thorr, Eitri, and Celine. Last, Colorless with Arval, Medeus, and what a coincidence, Elimine herself. First up, we have Legendary Sigurd, a Sword Cavalier, infamous for his always active 4 movement thanks to Holy Knight aura. If Sigurd procs a special, he gives everyone on the team +1 movement. For combat, Holoturfing has Slaying, +5 stats, a free follow-up, and 40% DR for 1 hit. If Sigurd is attacked by a ranged unit, he gets 40% for the 1 hit, and then Crusader's Ward can give 80% DR for all hits after. For skills, we got Attack and Defense Catch 4 and Fatal Smoke 3, both pretty decent still. We have been getting a ridiculous amount of healing units this year as well. Now, next is Legendary Lilina, a high attack red mage Cav. Lilina has her own unique 2 cooldown AoE special that she pre-charges with Studied Foreblaze. Since it has Slaying, she can also recharge it with her basic attack. She will get extra attack and res and Hardy Bearing to deal with Vantage. For fodder, you can get attack and res solo 4 or pulse smoke 3. Sabotage res is on some heroic rail units now. If you use Lilina, she really wants Stillwater's flat stats for the AoE spam. Last up is male Alear. If you haven't logged into the game, everyone gets a free copy at the moment. If you want more merges, this is technically his first banner. As a unit, male Alear is just like his female counterpart, Speedy Infantry Sword unit, and Liberation can give charge to Alear plus his support partner. It also has Slaying, +5 stats, potentially a lot of speed and defense debuffs, and Dodge DR. Alear can stack that with Repel 4, and you got Attack and Res Ideal 4 for speed. If you need Green Feud for whatever counters, Alear brings that as well. Not really the newest legendaries or mythics to join Alear, but I think he'll probably be on some other skill banners later on. Moving on to blue, that's where you can get Mythic Freyr. For fodder skills, Attack and Defense Clutch 4 is fun, and Low Attack and Defense 4 is brand new. If you don't care about the low skill and you just want Attack and Defense Clash 4, you could go for Summer Ephraim on his banner, and he will also have Alarm Attack and Defense instead. Now, joining Freyr is Mythic Nerthuz. I'm not entirely sure how everyone is related, but I think she's the aunt to Freyr and Freya. Now, anyway, as a fellow Blue Beast Cavalier, Nerthuz is full speed focused. Horn of the Land has Slaying, extra stats, Breath type cooldown, and full no follow-up. Kinda unfortunate she doesn't get the new transformation bonus. As for her stat boost, it scales with her max cooldown value, so with 4 cooldown Gale Force, she can get +13 to all stats. From Free to Life, Nerthuz can inflict speed and defense debuffs, gain 40% DR with reflected empowered counterattacks, plus she can get no guard and inflict AoE gravity. For stats, attack and speed clash and alarm attack and speed are great, plus you can get Conto 1 from there. Last up, we have Rearmed Ingrid, high speed lens flare and very valuable for Arcane Lewin, which is the speed focused option. It has Sling, plus 5 stats, 20% speed as true damage, low speed and defense, and if you outspeed, you get full no follow-up. To make Ingrid stand out, she has Knightly Devotion as her A skill, which is near trace Kanto, plus 8 to all stats, full stat debuff neutralization, and 7 HP healing after combat. Ingrid is still the only source of the very fun guard bearing 4 and speed and defense hold is solid as well. If it wasn't obvious, now's a great time to go for Freyr. Blue group is stacked, and pretty much all of these passive skills are somewhat new and rare. Rearmed heroes, arcane weapons, valuable as always. Moving on to the green group, Mythic Thorr is back. She's an extra mythic X flyer who can give everyone around her breath type cooldown thanks to World Breaker. Cooldown support is always fun, especially for classes without that many options. Now Thorr herself will get the extra cooldown, and with Mjolnir she has Accelerate specials, plus 6 attack and a free follow-up. She inflicts minus 6 attack on the foe, and if solo, Thorr can also neutralize their field buffs. For skills, we got Attack Enemy's Push 4, which is okay unless you specifically need that recoil damage. Flow Guard 3, still an amazing option for initiators. Next is Legendary Eitri, who is a slower green mage flyer with a bit of bulk. Her tome inflicts minus 6 attack and res with a free follow-up, and she has Kanto 2 for the first 4 turns. From Divine Recreation, she inflicts minus 4 to all stats, gets 30% DR, and reflects the damage reduced for her next counter. Pair that with the new remote A skills for more DR stacking. Now as for fodder, Eitri has Attack and Res Solo 4, which is okay, but not the best. Attack and Res Rain 3 is fine for consistent debuffs, plus we have that Sacred Seal version now. Last up for green is Celine, a speedy green infantry mage. Celine brings healing support as a combat unit. She heals 7 HP every new turn to allies within 3 spaces. She heals 7 HP after combat for allies and herself as well. For combat, Celine has Slaying and gets % DR every ally nearby with more than half health. This caps at a decent 45% DR for 3 healthy allies. Celine will also get true damage for each of those healthy allies, again capping at 15 true damage for 3 allies. She can also get plus 5 to all stats. For extra support, Celine has Kanto Control, and I think she's still the only unit with speed and res ideal for. Could swap that to some of the other percentaire skills range units can run now. Overall, green is alright. I wouldn't say Thor or Eitri are bad, but they're definitely starting to feel a bit dated. Celine is fun, just not exactly the most general fodder to utilize. Now, the Colorless group has some heavy hitters with 3 mythics. First, Arval, an Anima Mythic Colorless Infantry Mage. They have high attack and res, and will use flat resistance to do a check with enemies in a large area. If Arval wins, you inflict guard on those foes. From Red of Souls, they get Slang, plus 5 stats, true damage, and follow-up denial. From Duality, Arval gets plus 9 flat attack and res to help with their res check. It also gives weapon triangle advantage against red, blue, and green foes with a free follow-up attack. For fodder, Attack and Res Tempo to affect special charging, and Attack and Res Oath 4 for easy buffs and warping. Solid unit. Next is Mythic Medeus, a dark mythic colorless dragon that is quite tanky. Medeus provides plus 6 attack and res and unguard for the team. This prevents them from taking out of combat damage. For his own combat, Medeus inflicts minus 6 attack and res and prevents a follow-up. His B skill requires a resistance check for a free follow-up attack, and it has Dragon Walls 40% DR that can also work with nearby allied dragons or healers to hit a max 60% DR. For extra support, he will have Kanto Control, and then Defensive Res Ideal 4 for pure defensive stats. Last up, very awkward, we have Mythic Elimine. Assuming Freyr counters Elimine, this is a weird decision, but also Elimine still very strong. She's an extra flying healer and can inflict False Start on foes in line with her if Elimine wins a res check. False Start prevents at start of turn effects from activating, so she shuts down a lot of threats. Again, it's theorized Freyr just prevents False Start from being on the unit in the first place, hence why he should counter Elimine. Outside of False Start, Elimine has more support perks. She grants plus 60% field buffs, and Holy Ground is a 2-space aura that gives more defensive res with 30% damage reduction. If you want to move an ally forward, Nudge Plus is the healer shove skill. You then got Attack and Res Far Trace for Kanto, and Attack and Res Push 4 for stats. Ideally, Elimine kinda wants a flat res booster like Still Water. Now, regardless of if Freyr counters Elimine, she's still strong and this colors group is still stacked. Personally, I just assume this means we're probably going to get False Start on some other unit to run. We'll see though, it's a very powerful effect. That'll wrap it up for this month's Mythic Banner. We have Male Alear's first actual banner, and they are putting out a counter to one of the strongest effects in the game. it comes between not one, but 2 summer banners, an engage banner, and next month is CYL 7. Just not sure how many people are going to actually be summoning for Freyr at this time. Now, let me know your thoughts on this new mythic hero, and don't get it wrong, Freyr just isn't a false start counter, or appears to be one. By neutralizing penalties on the enemy phase, he can completely shut down a ton of debuff reliant effects, and this is great for enemy phase tanking. Then on your player phase, you're just good to go. Neutralizing stat debuffs is always clutch, and cleansing penalties is great as well, but Freyr basically just prevents those penalties from occurring in the first place. Really interesting effect. Honestly, it's quite strong for just general play. Thank you for watching. Good luck if you're going to be summoning, and I will see you in the next video.